So I'm now really pleased to introduce our commencement speaker. This year, the speaker is Mr. Javier Rosenberg. Mr. Rosenberg is the Chief Operating Officer for Radisson Hotels in the United States and Executive Vice President of Owned and Managed Hotels in the Americas. In this role, he's focused on driving operational excellence for the Carlson Rezidor Hotel Group in support of the company's brand-building efforts and real estate value creation, along with the repositioning of Radisson within the United States. The owned and managed portfolio includes over 5,000 rooms across the Radisson brands in key cities such as Minneapolis, Philadelphia, Chicago, Seattle, Phoenix, and New Orleans, among others. He has extensive operational experience, including Regional Director of Operations for Intercontinental Hotels and Resorts in Mexico for the Caribbean region, and General Manager of Raffles Hotel in Singapore. Prior experiences also include leadership roles in operations in the Caribbean, Europe, and the United States. Prior to joining the Carlson Rezidor Hotel Group, he served as partner and managing director for Knightbridge Partners in Buenos Aires, Argentina, where he led the creation of the hospitality division and assisted in growth and development in Latin America. He's also received several professional recognitions, including being named the Young Hotelier of the World in 2001 by Hotels Magazine and the International Hotel and Restaurant Association. But I think the reason that we're most pleased to have Javier with us here today is that Javier is actually a graduate of Shaw from the class of 1994. He graduated cum laude from Boston University School, and he's currently a member of our Dean's Advisory Board. He's joining us today from Minneapolis, and I believe this is the first time that we've actually had a Shaw graduate address the graduating class. So Javier, we're delighted to have you here.
Good morning. I am truly honored to be here with a graduating class and with your parents. And I want to extend a thank you to Dean Waters for the very kind invitation. It actually wasn't so long ago, forget about doing the maths, that I was actually sitting there. My robe was clearly not as nice as the one I have today, but on the plus side, my hat clearly wasn't as nice as some of the decorated hats I've seen out there today. So obviously today is a very special day for all of you, as it closes a chapter in your lives and opens a whole new exciting chapter. And I think Anna, you gave a pretty good note of FIO and everything else that's looking forward coming up. But Benjamin Franklin said that the recipe for successful achievement has 4 ingredients. Choose a career you love, give it the best there is in you, seize the opportunities, and be a member of the team. Now, I hope no one has any regrets of having chosen this career, and if you do, it might be a little bit too late. I'm just saying, given the circumstances of where we are. But it is a known behavior that when we acquire a significant asset, a car, a house, we go through an evaluation period. It's actually called the post-purchase evaluation. And for example, when we buy a new car, you've gone through the research, you've chosen a car, and the next few months you spend some time, every time you see some of the other cars that you were considering, justifying to yourself why you made the right decision. You look better in this one, the color, the mileage, whatever the case is. But ultimately, I think we all seek reaffirmation. So this morning, I thought I'd save you the trouble of going through that in the next few months or years and reassure you as to why you've made the right decision of choosing this industry, which I believe is brilliant and has a promising future. I'm going to talk about 3 things. The first one is the strength of our industry. Our industry is a powerhouse. It is significant in its economic contribution. Hospitality generates $1.9 trillion of economic activity in the US alone, and 14.5 million jobs, paying $196 billion in salaries and wages. But our industry is also global, and international statistics are just as impressive. For example, Chinese tourists spent $102 billion during 83 million trips in 2012. That's more than the population of any other country. Taking another incredible statistic, There are currently over 90,000 rooms being developed in the Middle East. These rooms will enter the systems in the next few years, and they will require operations teams, asset managers, and professionals like you and me. I remember early on in my first few days at BU at Shah, the dean at that time shared some wise thoughts with us. She said, work and technology will change and evolve. Look at the 35-hour work week in some countries, look at home office-based working today, but ultimately, people will continue to travel, both for leisure and for work, and all of us will continue to enjoy dining. So the strength of our industry is here to stay and will continue to grow. The second reason why you made the right choice is the scope of our industry. You have finished an education that opens many doors, and I'm not only referring to the doors that have opened right now for you, but I'm referring to the many doors that will continue to open as you progress in your careers and in your professional life. Even within each of the areas that the industry has, whether it's hotels, cruise ships, restaurants and bars, travel companies, and so many other different aspects, each one of them has many different opportunities. If you look at hotel operations alone, you have food and beverage, rooms, human resources, sales and marketing, and so many other aspects that you can explore. On a personal note, I have seen the industry change and evolve over the last 15 years. I'm going to share two examples with you. The first one is real estate. The old traditional model of an owner being in many cases the operator and the brand owner has ceased to exist, except for a few niche cases that you see primarily in the luxury segment. Today, the model is extremely segmented and has truly allowed for a very professional focus in every specific area. Real estate owners are focused on the value of the asset and engage professional asset managers with deep real estate, operations, financial and investment knowledge to manage their assets. Operators, whether a part of a brand or not, are also professional and look at satisfying the key stakeholders in a balancing act proper of a circus. Staff and guests to deliver great service, and obviously maximizing profit and managing the returns for the owner. The other example is revenue generation, and I was just talking about that a few minutes ago behind here. It's progressed so much. Many years ago, it did not exist. And at one point in the early stage, it was simply the opportunistic possibility of increasing rates over key demand dates. Today, revenue generation has become the brains behind any hotel operation. It goes beyond revenue optimization and includes a depth of technology, analysis, and tools that address segmentation, business sources, and all the other variables that allow you to impact performance and master your competitive set. So again, in that one area alone, today the scope of the industry is impressive, and there are many, many opportunities. So this takes me to the third and last reason as why you have made the right decision in the career. And it's about the opportunities in our industry. This is an industry that gives us more opportunities that we can even take. No doubt, and Anna referred to it, it is tough, requiring you to work long days, weekends, holidays. I actually remember that I think the first time I took Christmas off was only a few years ago. And I actually didn't know what to do with myself. And I ended up working the kitchen shift at home that night. But it is truly an industry where getting stuck behind the desk or in the same position is your decision. Because the industry will give you more options than you can handle. You will have the opportunity to grow and grow, the opportunity to experience different aspects of our industry, but also the opportunity to experience different cultures and live around the world. I do not know of an industry that offers so many opportunities, both from a growth perspective and from a scope perspective. In my personal case, I have taken every possible opportunity. And the proof is 3 children that were born in 3 different countries, and a trip that requires involving the United Nations to figure out visas and passport requirements. But in summary, the hospitality industry is promising and relevant. It offers endless opportunities for growth and development, and it is exciting, full of action and adventures, and ultimately, it really all depends on you. German philosopher Goethe once said, in the realm of ideas, everything depends on enthusiasm. In the real world, it all rests on perseverance. So do not forget to drive your perseverance. Do not forget that this is an industry where you can determine where you want to reach. I thought about closing with some words of wisdom, but I went to the dictionary, and wisdom actually means having the quality of being wise. And therefore I would be admitting, certainly not humbly, that I am wise. And it is not true, and unfortunately I have a few professors here that can vouch for that. So I'm going to instead share some advice with you. And for the record, the meaning of advice in the dictionary is to give counsel, offer an opinion, or suggestion. So this advice comes from my experience in the industry, an industry I love and I have a passion for. And let me start with a key element of our industry, leadership. Many years ago, I was drawn to the industry by a fascination that our industry is all about people. It's about people delivering service to people, guests and patrons. And with all the innovation in the world, it is still about people delivering service to people. If we can accept that it is about people, then we are admitting that it is an industry that requires leadership. Leadership to inspire people, leadership to motivate people, leadership to develop and coach people. Ultimately, our industry's quest is for great leadership. And this is not always present in our industry. I do not really watch much TV, but I have to admit that I'm fascinated by the reality shows that involve our industry. I think Kitchen Nightmares, Restaurant Impossible, and there's a few others out there. And when I started watching these, I still today sometimes believe that the programs are rigged. And I fail to understand how the people on those shows can be that way. But it took me a little bit of a while to figure it out, and I now understand that they're obviously on those shows because they are failing. And they're failing 100% of the times because of their leadership, or better said, their lack of leadership. So my advice to you today is to be leaders. Learn to lead, and don't be afraid to lead. As you tackle new adventures that await you as of next week, don't ever shy away from leading, even if there are risks attached. Frederick Wilcox said, "Progress involves risk. You can't steal second base and keep your foot on first base." I will share a little note about leadership. It is about being fair, yet decisive. It is about being respectful and inclusive. Above all, it is about being humble. There is nothing wrong with not knowing, and actually asking for an opinion can be very good and positive. Being humble also means helping your team members and being a part of the team and being able to jump when necessary. I remember when I left BU, first few months as an assistant restaurant manager in a coffee shop, high-volume coffee shop. And to run the food, they were using these big trays with 6 and 8 dishes. And I had never really had a chance to, in my internships and my prior work, to carry those trays. And as an assistant manager, as a leader, I felt handicapped. So during the first few weeks, once the restaurant closed and everybody left, I stayed behind and carried trays for a couple of hours until I got a handle of it. I really don't know if anybody ever appreciated that at the restaurant. I don't even think they even knew about it. But it certainly made me a much, much better leader for that operation. And it taught me a lot. So being humble is important. And my words of advice to you do not come from a famous author or a business guru. They come from a fortune cookie. True story. I picked up several years ago and I have kept ever since. It says, "Funny thing about humility, just when you think you've got it, you've lost it." As I have said, I love this industry and I have a passion for it. It is fun, it is exciting. It is an industry that continues to offer incredible opportunities and experiences. Whether it's experiencing worldwide cultures, being a part of an incredible team, working side by side amazing talent, putting together a unique event, meeting celebrities, or meeting other incredible people. It is an industry full of stories of a global nature. I think that most people in this industry are able to write a book about their experiences. Of course, if you have worked a concierge desk in New York, Paris, or LA, you probably have material for 3 or 4 books. But this is also an industry that in the past 15 years has transformed itself, and today has a new level of professionalism that is hungry for talent and brilliant people like yourselves. I have no doubt that those of you here today are ready to make a difference in this industry and in this world. Carlson, the founder of Carlson, created a credo that has truly resonated with me since the first time I read it. It is a credo that truly aligns with me and incorporates what I feel is essential not only for professional success, but also to be a good human being. And this credo comes from a man that created a company in 1938 with a $55 loan, and today is one of the leading hospitality and travel companies in the world. It reads, "Whatever you do, do with integrity. Wherever you go, go as a leader. Whomever you serve, serve with caring. Whenever you dream, dream with your all, and never, ever give up." You're ready to jump into your career and achieve greatness. Greatness as a businessman or businesswoman, greatness as a leader, greatness as a visionary, greatness as a human being, or all of them together. It is all inside of you, and it all depends on you. You are truly the masters of your destiny. Congratulations on your graduation, and I wish you much success in your careers. Thank you very much.